Welcome back to the channel, and in this video I'll be going over my red bronze farm, which produces 120 red bronze per hour, which is an insane amount, and it is extremely efficient. It produces one red bronze every 30 seconds to an average, so it basically produces 2 red bronze a minute, that's an awesome rate. You have 13 and I now have a total of 603 just for a few hours of grinding, and you can tell it's pretty gigantic, but there's a reason why. So a lot of calculations went into doing this. Also 26 red bronze, just like that. I went AFK for a while. Basically, there are a total of 13 deposits for this one red bronze farm. Why 13? Why not 15? The max is 15. Well, there's no point in going after 13 because there's a reason. Here you'll see all of it. Don't mind the oil thing. I tried to get it faster, it just doesn't work. So you want to just use coal, can't use oil, but I'll explain on that later. So there are a total of 13 deposits, and there are 8 gold and there are 5 copper, and they work like hand to hand, like they work perfectly to fill out each red bronze like one ingot. Now you may be wondering, how did I get them this close to each other? Like, they're so close to each other. How did I do this? Well, that comes through a lot of time. Basically what I did is I cleared out the entire island, made sure this whole place was 100% empty, and all of our stuff was on top of the portal there, and we basically made sure that this place is completely empty, as deposits try to spawn as close to the middle as they can, and once they take up their space, they spawn elsewhere and stuff like that. And sometimes they do spawn far away, but we had to like clear those out and then just wait for them to basically respawn again. And of course you have to use deeds. I have 2 gold deeds here, I have 1 copper deed. This takes time, but if you have more people, like I have, this is a co-op slot, you can buy multiple at the same time, so it's fairly good. And again, you want to have 8 gold and 5 copper. That is the total ratio of making perfect red bronze. Now I'll get to that why in a minute. Oh, just bounced all the way off. I'll get to why in a minute. So red bronze needs a total of 2 gold and 30 copper for it to make red bronze, 1 ingot specifically. And copper, each copper deposit produces 1 copper every 5 seconds. I don't know if I can show it, but let me try to see. So copper produces a copper deposit produces 1 copper every 5 seconds. So let's count: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. So it produces every 5 seconds, and there's 5 of that. So you can just divide it. So it produces copper every 5 seconds, and we have 5 deposits. So there's 5 divided by 5. You get 1 copper every second. So that's 1 copper every second. That means in a minute, so 1 times 60, you get 60 copper a minute, which is good. So that's enough for 2 red bronze. Now it's the trickiest part, is the gold. Gold, on the other hand, takes 2 minutes for it to spawn. Like it takes 2 minutes for just 1 deposit to spawn in gold. And there's not really any way other than using petroleum and stuff like that to make it faster, but you don't need to, because in this balance it's perfect. Since we have 60 copper a minute, we want to fill 4 gold a minute, and we know that 1 gold deposit takes 2 minutes to spawn, so that's 120 seconds. So if we do the same thing, so we take the amount of time it takes and divide it by the amount of their deposits. So we have 120 divided by 8. So there's 8 deposits, and each one takes 120 seconds each to give out a gold. 120 divided by 8, you get 15 seconds. That means that you get 1 gold every 15 seconds. And 15 seconds, when you time that by 4, is 60 seconds, which is 1 minute. So that means you get 4 gold in a minute. And it perfectly balances out. That means that with 5 copper deposits and 8 gold deposits, you get exactly 2 red bronze ingots every minute. Or 4 gold and 60 copper every minute, which is equal to 2 red bronze again. And this makes it so that like it's absolutely perfect. If there's like basically there's no overflow on any of them, they completely balance each other out, and it already produced 16 by the time I was just talking. It's really good, and you can see there's no backing up. Of course, when there isn't gold, it backs up, but it's fine. Like, because of how optimized this is by using chutes, and there's a reason why I use chutes. It doesn't, the things just don't reach their despawn timer, and everything goes in within 2 minutes or less. Now, there's a minor detail is that gold does not, they don't actually spawn 15 seconds apart from each other. They all spawn in 1 second. Like, all the gold deposits produce the gold at this exact same time. So, if you look here closely, in a few seconds or maybe like a minute and a half or whatever, how much time it's been since the last one, 8 gold will fall into here at once. Now, you can't remember the concept, but you will see just a lot of gold fall in here at once. And there is literally no way to avoid it, because that's what happens to the drills. They reset their timer. Because of how drills work, they don't, the drills they reset their timer, and they all, when you spawn in, they all reset to it. There we go. That's 8 gold all at once. And it just produced 2 red bronze, like that. And because of how good the despawn, I mean, like, how nicely optimized this is, all the copper goes here and they stay there. They don't despawn, which is really nice. So, like, already 4 red bronze, which is a lot, by the way. And if you go in per player marketplace, the lowest you can find them for is around like 250k each piece, which is insane in this era. I remember them being like 25k before. That is nowhere near what they are right now. They're like 250k each ingot, or they can even go higher to like 380k or sometimes, which is like insane. But anyway, this is like probably one of the best ones, like the best farms in the game for red bronze. And the reason why I use chutes is because I want the items to go there as fast as possible. Conveyors will not cut it at all. Conveyors will make it so that like you will not, like, the items will despawn by the time they reach the place. Plus, it is possible, because of how close these things are, it is possible to use conveyors, but it's just not worth it. And another thing, if you notice, is that I have smelters attached to every single deposit. Now, is that efficient? No, and absolutely not. One smelter is enough to power 1 copper deposit. That makes sense. Like one smelter needs one copper deposit needs 1 smelter. That's fine. But not gold. Gold doesn't actually need 1 whole smelter. You could, in fact, power all the 8 gold deposits with just 1 smelter. However, what happens, like, I've done a lot of testing. I've had a furnace set up down there, or like I tried to make it do, it just doesn't work. Somehow, some way, the items will despawn somehow, and they also like they fall through stuff. And by the way, this is the design I'm using now. In the recent patch, one copper totem, one coal totem is perfectly enough to power 1 drill. It is like there is no backing up. As well as 1 coal totem is enough to power 1 smelter if it's on all the time. If it's not on all the time, there will be some backup, like this. On these gold totems, gold deposits, these ones, even though I still have another conveyor facing outwards to make it have 50%, it still isn't enough. I will be adding like the timed input output chest so that like it's more efficient and I have the zero backing up at all. But like, I'll just do that later. For now, for the time being, I'll just do this. And another thing is that, of course, even if I have the timed input output chest, it will still back up on the input output chest. So to be honest, there's no point. If you think about it, there's no point in doing it because it'll back up one way or another. So I just do it like this. I may do it later. I have to experiment more with it, but other than that, there's no point on doing this, on putting the input output chest. And see, there's one gold thing there, and also spawn there, I believe. Yep, at the same time, and they all will drop together at the same time as well. Like, look, it's already 11 red bronze. And again, so this produces 120 red bronze an hour, and I've tested it. It is lossless. Like, I've tested like an hour, I've tested 30 minutes, I've tested multiple times. It produces 2 red bronze, 8 minutes perfectly, without any backup or like without any despawn, which is just perfect. I've also tested a lot of things, and I found an interesting thing. If you try, like, I tried using, you know, a filter conveyor on it so that I can like filter out the gold and copper, and then I can like time them perfectly so that it's perfectly like there's no backing up on here. But this is the best setup. Like, this is the best setup. There's a reason for this. And as you can see I'm using 2 conveyors here. Why is that? Why is there 2 levels? Well, ingots are the most annoying thing there is. Ingots literally go, like, sometimes if the ingots are going fast enough, they will literally phase through the conveyor. And you want to use tier 2 conveyors because they do sometimes get stuck inside, but then they get pushed out because that's how tier 2 conveyors work. If you use tier 1 conveyors, they will literally get stuck in the conveyor, as well as they sometimes do go through the conveyor. And I have 2 levels so that even if it goes through, or even if it gets stuck, it'll just pass on. And I have another glass pane here so that it doesn't like go out this way, and it's just perfect. Look, there's all the gold, and it just produced 2 more ingots like that. It's so cool. And I tried using these things. There's an interesting thing to note about like input output chests, as well as the filter conveyors, or like any other thing like randomizers. If they are overloaded with too many items, it will not register for the input output chest or whatever input you have. So let me just make a demonstration here. One, it has to go really fast, and 2, it has to be a lot of items at the same time. Yeah, just like that. Those items, they were the chest got overloaded so that they went through and below, and that's like, it's basically like the only way you're gonna lose items is because of like the bottleneck that this produces. You're gonna lose items because of like it can't take in enough items fast enough, and it just phases through. Same goes for mergers, randomizers, anything that has an input and an output. They don't work properly, which is really weird. And but that's why I'm using a red bronze refinery here, because it's solid at the back. They get stuck there. So because of them getting stuck there, 1, they can't go through, so they get stuck there, and 2, it's basically lossless now. I have not lost items through the chutes, like ever. You want to make sure that they're all covered from every side possible. You want to make sure that there are 0 holes in it, so that it doesn't like lose any items. And this is practically lost. This is like 99% just flawless, and that's perfect. Now, the problem with this is, if you have a lot of big farms, then you may have problems with the rates, as there are some items backing up in this one. Now, I will try to make a follow-up video on this, maybe make a new system where they do go into like timed input output chest, 1 set to instant and 1 set to 15 seconds, so that 1 is for gold and 1 is for copper, so that they go directly into the thing. But that's gonna be after a while, because these things are very, they're very inconsistent, which is not good. Like, you want consistency. So I'll try to figure it out. But other than that, this thing is a beast. Like, this produces so much red bronze. And by the way, 120 red bronze, if you sell each one for 250k, basically per hour, if you sell 120 red bronze at 250k each, that is 30 million per hour. 30 million per hour. And that times 24, you get 720 million a day just from a red bronze. And it's a fairly cheap farm, and it's making 720 million a day, which is insane. And of course, if you can just bump up the prices to 300k. You'll get way more, or even like 350k if you can sell it like that. And you can make $1 billion a day, like just through red bronze. You could make $1 billion a day. I've already made like 400 million just by selling red bronze, and I'm gonna sell these ones as well. And yeah, that's it. That's the farm. It's very simple. You just need a lot of patience to make it. And the pipes, by the way, they're just made out of stairs again. So it just, like, we just follow this. They go through here. This is a gold one. Yeah, it's a gold one. So they go through here. They go down. And they go down here. They have stairs on both sides of the deck. It's completely smooth inside. And it just goes straight down to this little place here. Also, I have a beach ball there so that it slows down their impact when they hit the blocks. So, like, it works really well. And then they're all, like, basically this is the center part of the island, the entire island, and like I did it there, so like it just looks really cool. Then they go on to the conveyor. They go 2 conveyors and then straight into the red bond refinery, where it then gets turned into red bond ingot, which is nice. That's very nice. Also, this is literally like 1 block away from the block limit, like the bottom limit. If I go 1 block more, I'll get respawned. So it's basically right on the limit. And if you can't get things to spawn consistently, like, let me just show what I'm talking about. Go to maintenance. One of these gold deposits actually does have an input-output chest right here. Oh, what? What just happened? So, like I was saying, this one wasn't further than the most furthest ones, but it was at a diagonal, and diagonals are really bad for these type of chutes and stuff like that, funnels as many people call it. So I had to use an input-output chest with like gold in the front, and then just filled it up with filler items, and it just passes through because it doesn't get overloaded. So that's why I can just pass through easily without losing any items. Plus, it also resets its despawn timer, which is really good. So you could, if you wanted to, just use a lot of input-output chests to bring them to the middle, and you don't need all of this. But to be honest, that's just a lot of wasted, like, stuff. Like, a lot of wasted gold and stuff like that. So it would take forever to fill it up. But if you could fill it up with, like, gold items, if you have, then just do that. But, yeah. I would say this is just way faster just doing it like this way. And, again, you only need 13 deposits, 8 gold, 5 copper, and you can make the last two oil, or 2 copper, or 1 oil and 1 copper, like the one we did here. So we have 1 oil there, and we have 1 copper over there. And they're basically just self-powered. They don't really, I just forget about them. But I will try to make this so that I could like use this as the main copper farm. So I'll have 2 oil to like just make it more efficient. And I'll try to make it so that I can like turn it off and on. So like if I want a lot of copper plates or copper ingots or just copper in general, or copper stuff, I'll have it turned on, and then it'll just swap using a turn conveyor where like it can like turn it off and on to the right. So that it will do stuff, like it will just turn on copper, and it will save the gold as well. So we can also have a gold farm separately, or it will just go straight back into a red bronze refinery, which is fairly cool. But I have to do a lot of experiments because again, input output stuff is very glitchy, and they just go through, and it makes it like you lose items through them, so it's just not good to use them. So yeah, I hope you guys in this video. This like this farm alone, I think probably took me like 3 to 4 hours to make it. After all the deeds are spawned, of course, those took me like a few days, but it's fine. It's pretty fun. Like making this thing work, and seeing the amount it produces is really satisfying. And just selling this stuff is also just really nice. Or using it, that's good as well. So, I hope you guys in this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.